Crimes of the Future is directed by David Cronenberg and stars Viggo Mortensen, Léa Seydoux, and Kristen Stewart. As humans adapt to a synthetic environment with new transformations and mutations, two celebrities publicly showcase the metamorphosis of one of their organs in avant-garde performance art. I'll be pretty honest, I wasn't the most excited to see this movie. Don't get me wrong, everyone in the cast I absolutely love. But at the same time, the director is David Cronenberg, and although I have heard such great things about his filmography, I know it might be sacrilegious to say it, but I've never seen a David Cronenberg movie before this one. I haven't seen The Fly or anything like that. This is pretty much my first David Cronenberg movie. And as first introductions to world-famous directors go, I'm sorry, I really hope his other work is much better because I found this movie to be extraordinarily disappointing. Alright, so before I get into all that, what did I like in the movie? Well, I do think the best part of this movie is just the world that it creates. This entire world where evolution is going topsy-turvy and people can't really feel any pain, so they just create art to replicate pain. I really found that very interesting, and just everything surrounding the world had a very twisted and dark feel to it that really matched what was being shown on screen. Plus, as I said before, I do know the reputation of David Cronenberg, and one of his biggest praises is his use of practical effects. And thankfully, all that praise is well warranted in this movie, mainly due to a lot of the props. The fictional devices in this universe, like the Sark bed or the Breakfaster, I'm pretty sure it's called, all seem like very interesting ideas for this sort of reality with these sort of people, and just their designs is very human in a way. It's all fleshy and bony, and it really makes you feel that these pieces of equipment have pretty much just become a staple of life to a human in the same way that just lifting your arm is a staple of being human. And while the performances are pretty good all around, the last place this movie shines is the themes and morals that it evokes. The movie throws around a ton of ideas of what it means to be human, and should human evolution be feared, or should it be pushed, or should it just let it happen? When should politics and science and surgery come in the way of what it truly means to be human and have human experiences? All of these ideas inside this world, a world surrounded by all of these amazing props and practical effects, are extremely interesting. The only thing that took me out of the movie was the script itself. While I found the ideas and world interesting, it was the characters and the story that really fell flat for me. None of the characters were written with a strict pathos to them that really allowed me to latch on to their characters. So pretty much I was just watching the actors just say lines, and I never really got invested in the characters that they were portraying. And along with that, the story is not very interesting. In fact, the story only comes along halfway through the film. The rest of the movie, we're just exploring this world, and while the world in an idea sense is very intriguing, it is extraordinarily similar to our own world, so it's not the most interesting of fictional worlds. Not enough to fill up the intrigue of an audience, at least in the place of a story. And because we're not given a great deal of time to really care about the child that is pretty much the entire catalyst of this story, it makes the movie just feel thematically bland by comparison, and it really hurts the pacing, even though this movie is only an hour and a half long. Throughout the entire movie, the pacing just seemed like it was juggling through too fast and too slow throughout the entire film. It seems like this movie is getting overall decent reviews, so take my criticism with a grain of salt, but with that said, I couldn't help but find this movie pretty disappointing. While the ideas the film evokes and the world that it creates are fairly interesting, I wouldn't say they're interesting enough to cover up the film's lesser parts. Because the characters aren't very identifiable and the story and emotions behind it feel oddly distant, I could never get fully invested in the film because I was never emotionally invested. I appreciate the risks that this movie tried to take visually, but in terms of everything else, apart from a couple of the ideas, I didn't really get that much out of it. I'm going to give Crimes of the Future a C-. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite David Cronenberg movie? I mean that as an honest question. What is your favorite David Cronenberg movie? This is the only one that I've seen. I'm looking for recommendations. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the best. And don't forget to click subscribe and click the bell icon down below to stay up to date on all things movie, all things TV, all things nerd.